Before we go to the messages coming in, I want us to talk about the issue of the bystander effect. People who are working in that bank, who were just standing by and didn't go in to intervene. Why do we think they didn't intervene?
Because maybe that is the policy at the bank. They don't have money. So when people come, we should intimidate them for them to go. So the workers themselves are aware. Or that's what they do. That's not the first time. It looks like the trend we started late last year. Like majority of microfinance companies are collapsing. And when you go, they put a police officer in the bank, off the banking hall, and then he will scare you. So even when you go, your money is not there, you are unable to shout. And now because of this, there's pressure on the bank and people are taking their money. It is an agenda on the part of the bank. Let's keep the police officer, anybody who misbehaves, assault the person. Why can't they let that ignorant man know that they don't have money? But instead, the system has broken. You know, it means that the vulnerable, also the uneducated people, they will continue to suffer. But it's okay, we have free education. It's okay, people can be educated. But then, what are the those who have not yet been educated, or those who cannot be educated now? How do we protect these women?
Right. How do we also look at, how do you view how the bank handled the matter when it broke out?
Yes, and for me, that is what I said, that you realize that first of all, a guy tried to take the baby away from the woman. We are not sure whether the guy did that to protect the baby. I don't know whether the Giaqualano was to allow the woman to be beaten well, because after that then you saw that she was being dragged on the floor. So it's as if the baby was providing shelter in the beginning. On person baby, no. And then at the end of the day, when the second part of the video where they were like, hey, they don't value ban crowd. So they did not care about the life of the woman. They did not care about the kind of abuse they meted out to the woman. And for me, it goes back to the attitude of professionals. And
yet, we had so much public outcry.
Yes.
But these same people are Ghanaians who were in the bank, who were just watching and looking on.
Yes, because that's what I'm saying, that there is a culture. It's possible that she was a bit violent because she wanted her money. So so she was a bit violent. But it did not, so far as she probably did not lift her hand to hit anybody. That kind of treatment that was given to her was not valid.
I think that even if society can look on for a woman carrying a baby to be beaten, then I think there's a problem with us. If people can just look on for a woman carrying a baby to be assaulted, then we are suffering from something. We need to speak up for those vulnerable people.
That guy should have been stopped. The guy, they should have just said, yes,
and he should have disciplined him.
You know, now he had lost it totally. He had become something else, and he was looking for Nadia and all that. It's sad. It's sad.
This message is from Alava from Abokobi. Says, hello GTV24, I watched this video several times. It shows immorality of the police service in our country. They don't know their job description. This policeman must be put to prison immediately. He's armed and he's ready to use his rifle. This message also coming in says from Lembot Augustine inside Bemakam, says, I think the woman should be compensated by the Ghana Police Service.
Yes, we want 500,000.
500,000. That's what we're asking for.
The old CDs is 5 billion. Right. So you want them to bear the cost together, the IGP and then the Midland Bank, only 250 each, so that the problem can enrich. I've said that. Don't say you're a poor person, so no. It is not about your poverty, it's about your case. Once you have a good case, even this one, do you know what I'm doing? I'm not even asking them to, look for us to give us to help her with the money. I'm directing them to go and look for the woman and hand over that money to the woman. You know, if the president of Ghana is able to do this thing, I'll be very happy. But otherwise, on Friday, all the cocoa sellers, the Asana sellers, the Kelewili, the Banching, Brodier and all that, we are going to assist our friend, and we must set the right precedent. Because if it's been at this stage, we have a human rights lawyer who has practiced human rights for over 40 years, did not even attend to this poor woman situation, then I think I don't know what will happen to us women in future. Because if the human rights lawyer president didn't solve this, didn't compensate this woman, then it means that women, we don't have any hope in anyone.
Right. So,
yes.
So you've started a certain process, and you had an ultimatum, which ends today.
It ends today. I have not followed. Today has been a busy day for me. And maybe, I don't know whether maybe in the afternoon they gave the woman. I'm hoping.
Letters to these institutions.
What I do is advocacy.
Right.
I speak for the voiceless. And when I speak, they listen. We use the media to do all our work.
Right.
So if we talk, I don't need to even write a letter or even send anybody any long letter or issue a writ. We just want to speak for the voiceless. And I know that the government communicators are following on this issue. So the government advisor, what have they done in connection with this case?
Right.
The Ministry of Gender, the minister herself, what has she done in connection with this case?
Have you managed? They issued a statement. Have you managed to secure a date for?
That is Friday.
And clearance from the police service.
We are not embarking on a demonstration.
Right.
This is not exactly a demonstration. We are going to. It's like something that's happened to you. Your family members would want to accompany you, because you don't know if you go alone you'll be assaulted again.
But once you gather as a people,
your family members would want to go with you. I don't think that it's against the law. If my friend says they are going to escort me to take my compensation, I don't think it's wrong. There's nothing illegal about it. We are going there, but then since Monday, people have been trooping there to take their money. They don't need police permit to do that. You understand? Especially when police are even assaulted.
Protest.
We are going there to help our sister, or we are going there to demand that if by Friday, if by today, she's not receiving any money or they've not met her on anything, Friday 10 a.m. we are going to the head office of Midland Bank at Shashi to go and find out why. And we want to go with all our sisters, petty traders, the hanky seller, the PK seller. We are all going to help her retrieve her money. Because I think that in accordance with law, she has a civil claim and she has to be compensated before it gets too late. Because if by today, closer, they've not heard anything, then it means that on Friday, they have pushed us so hard to the wall. And when we are pushed, a poor, struggling woman is pushed so hard to the wall, the only thing she can do is to burst out. So we will burst out and vent our grievances so that the international community will see what is happening to poor, struggling women. Maybe we may get help from the international world. Somebody could even issue a $1 million whatever check to the woman. I just want the woman to be enraged from her problem. I don't even need to be part of the money. They should just give it to her.
Right. Finally, we'll come to what must be done holistically to prevent such things from coming, and then what this means for the women's rights movement and for those of us who are in advocacy. This one says, I'm Vincent. Police also need to go for counseling, and also after speaking on the rights of women, they also need to be educated on how they speak to people. Any comment on that?
They need to be educated
on how they speak to people.
The police.
Yes, the police. This one says, okay.
No, continue.
No, you can go on.
Yeah, I was saying that it's basically if some of these structures, you said will say that, but there should be structures about if a bank gives such treatment to anyone, what is the compensation?
Right.
There should be policies around some of these institutions so that automatically, like what is being called for, the woman should automatically, based on the policy of the bank, be given the money. Because if this thing had not been put on this video had not been out, this issue would have just
we would not even be sitting here,
and probably the woman would have died. So I think that the whole issue is that if you are not fortunate to have your issue out there, what happens to you? Right. If you are not a major person, a public figure, or a big person in Ghana, and you go through a problem, who helps you?
Yes, you don't have anyone
who speaks for you. Because if this issue had not come out, I don't think she would have received all the big money. And people are making joke about it. May you meet your policeman. But the problem is that it is not, the woman could have died.
Right. And this message speaks to what you're saying, because it says, please, I want to know if policemen are trained to beat and kill innocent people or to promote peace. We all see the kind of the brute nature with which people within the security service, especially the police, handle people they deem are misconducting themselves. As a media team, when we went to cover the MPP Congress, we encountered a situation where we had a national security official actually verbally assaulting us just because we had to reposition our outside broadcast van properly. It needn't be so violent, and yet you see that happening all the time.
They work with emotions. They work with anger. They are not happy. But I think they are working because they need salary or they want to have power over people. Abuse of power. But then let me even look at the criminal issue. A criminal issue. Assault alone. Beating is assault. Assault alone, the maximum penalty is 3 years jail term.
Right.
And then use of offensive weapon. By using the umbrella, I wish you could see the video again. By using that umbrella, use of offensive weapon is 10 let me I think 10 years.
We'll give you time. Well, let me just read the next message. And
no,
then
use of offensive weapon is life imprisonment. Constant harm is 10 years maximum. So if we are to lay down these charges, constant harm 10 years, use of offensive weapon, life imprisonment, and then assault is 3 years. So this police officer himself, and he has been crucified. He knows that he has been crucified. His wife and children may not see him again. We are not concerned about abuse, accused persons. Our concern is with the victims of abuse,
right, and changing of mindset.
Yes, and then getting compensation from the state. Because if somebody pours acid on you, it becomes your problem. You must spend money for so many surgeries. What? Because the Domestic Violence Act has provided that once you report, you must report the matter to the police station,
and
they must assist you. Yes, they must assist you with medical whatever. But it becomes your problem. The state doesn't take care of your medical expenses.
So that's the umbrella, the punching, the slapping, the pushing and pulling.
So bad.
And
and even the baby. Look at what the baby was handled. I think the 500 Ghana citizens is wholly inadequate. I'm hoping that I'm said that if by Friday, by today, we have not heard, Friday we do what we have to do.
500,000.
And then by next week, a team of lawyers will go to court on her behalf and even demand more money. We may demand over 5 million Ghana citizens.
Dragging her on the floor.
This is barbaric. How do you subject a woman carrying a baby? It's
intentional.
How the policeman was beating you. How can this be? That woman is another story. I wonder why the media gives us so much platform.
Of some of these things is also an issue to talk about. This one says, good afternoon. I'm following the program on violence against women, and I have a concern. That's why hasn't the policeman who brutalized the innocent lady with a child been brought to public scrutiny or being interviewed? Well, that is because we understand that he has been interdicted. They started investigating the matter, and he's currently on bail. Says, hello, good evening, my name is Sandra. Please, we are not happy the way the policemen are behaving, even the way they treat the foreigners in our country. Some of them were extracting money from people forcibly because of the uniform. This one says the police officer didn't do well at all, but if God intends to bless you, it doesn't matter how or when or where he does that. What matters is receiving the blessings at the end. God works in miraculous ways. Who knows whether God used this to uplift her? Let's forgive the police officer by now. He has learned from this incident. And this is the issue you're talking about. That's from Arthur from La Paz. Forgiving and letting go, keeping quiet over the matter, letting it be a family issue,
and that's how come a lot of women are dying.
Son says, Prince from Suhum says, in fact, these are things that usually happen on daily basis. Assuming this action was not recorded, the woman, after taking her money, will just go home, and the policeman will also go and punish. The issue needs to be well investigated. That's Prince from Suhum. And this one says, the case of the assaulted woman by the police must be used as a case study on how policemen are recruited. Selikem, I want to know what your panelists I want to know that your panelists are absolutely true. Okay, I think you must reword this, but you go on to say, but I think women are their own enemies. Did you hear what the bank ladies were saying? They did not care about one of their own, Adams Wakilu from Amasama. Now, Adams, there were also men in there who were also urging this issue of women being their own enemies and twisting it to, to seem as though it's just women who were encouraging this. When a man was right there and was holding the baby, it surprises me that Adams, you didn't talk about the man who was shielding the baby and was not helping stop the abuse, but you talk about the woman who was holding the baby later on. This one says, the Foundation of Ghana Police Service is very weak, and their problems go beyond mere police training. Even professionals all over the world go through serious training. Doctors, lawyers, journalists. Ghana Police Institution does not qualify to be classified as a professional institution. Most of them are SSS graduates who fail, and majority do not even have any certificates. And that's another issue. I did encounter a policeman who could not speak English, or and that's very interesting. Someone says, it's very disgraceful and shameful to see a law-abiding police officer assaulting a woman, someone else's wife, who went to get 270 cedis. But we are in this country that is known to be the most peaceful and respectable country in Africa. Unfortunately, I can't take all of the messages. There's several messages, and maybe I'll take a final one from Daniel Awanda. It says, I am a paramilitary officer. The training I went through by the Ghana military, I don't think this policeman has gone through by the Ghana police training. I believe and agree with what the lawyer said. Ghana protocol is making our recruitment so corrupted that we always leave the right people out. And that'll be the last message. But I thank you all for your messages. Final comments will be the way forward quickly, and then we leave it there. But this issue we will have to continue and find ways of looking at this issue from different angles. But on this particular platform, we're looking at way forward for this case.
So we've gone back to the issue. I also want to mention the issue of the recruitment and protocol.
Right.
I think that the protocol system in Ghana is not helping anyone. And then sometimes even as a CSO, a civil, somebody who is working with an NGO and all that, sometimes when you even want to work with some of the ministries, because of some of the people who have been put in those places through protocol, who are not very skilled, it makes the work very difficult. And then people want to know what political party you belong to and all that. It's very sad. I can't talk about instance, so many that I have. But we need to put the right, even if it is through protocol, or they supported the government to win power and all that. Let's put skilled people in the right places, because if this man is not somebody who had been properly trained on how to manage your emotions and all that, yes, probably the woman made you angry, but as an officer, what was the right procedure? And then the issue is about professionals. When you go to the banks and nobody is doing you a favor. I have my money here, give me back my money. Sometimes when you go to the bank, it's so frustrating. You know, I went to a bank, they said I should bring a letter. I got there, they said we didn't ask you for ID card, and I said, but what did you do? Why do you stress us like that? It is our money. Give our money back to us. So people will prefer to put holes in the ground and put their money there. And then this is a human rights issue. And for me, the right system should be put in place, so that apart from this woman, when any other woman goes through this, it could be you, it could be me. I don't think I'm that popular, so if anything happens to me, who supports me, who will help me out? Would I just die in shame, and then later they'll come and give my family members money? Or how do we ensure that this does not happen again? Everybody is careful. And then the issue of people in the informal sector, who protects them? And I like what Madam said about the fact that they are the people who are voting. They are the people who are supporting government. Who is supporting that woman? Who is taking care of this woman? What policies do we have to ensure that the life of that woman is comfortable?
I think that's your final comment.
I think she said a lot. In fact, sometimes I become speechless.
Right.
In fact, I try to brood over the same thing, and then I pity. So I pity those poor people, because I was my mother sells in the market at Makola. She paid my school fees to get to this level, and also I'm a single mother too. I take care of myself, and I know when you don't have money, sometimes you may not have any money on you, but then I'm so lucky I can make a single phone call, somebody will just drop some money, or as a lawyer I know when my next money is coming. But for those women, maybe her only money was at 270. It is a sad situation, but you know that some of us can just spend 270 for just lunch, but when that money is their life saving. So we should look at it, should start from the state level. The state should look at these women, these vulnerable women. Let's have a system where they can go to the bank and then withdraw that leap money. It shouldn't be somebody holding that money and choosing where to go, which region, which political whatever stronghold that they should take the money. I don't expect well-educated people running affairs for poor people to even be stealing their money. I don't expect that. Don't you pity these poor people? Why can't poor people be helped? I don't understand why poor people should be looked down on, should be looked down with condemnation. What is wrong if you are poor? Poor means you have to be helped, and society must put the right. In fact, I'm going to have this battle with our human rights president. It's not going to be an easy one, because the poor people who is voting must also be protected. And this woman's case is going to train for a long time.
It's going to train for a long time, and we on Women's Voice here will keep the conversation going, because this issue has several dimensions. Thank you so much, both of you, for being here. My guests have been Reverend OHENEWA KEVI. She is director for Purium African Youth Development Platform and also women's advocate. And I also had in the studio Mary OHENEWA AFFUL, private legal practitioner, human rights advocate, and she's also been joining in the conversation here as we've been looking at violence against women, case of assault of a woman by a policeman. Thank you so much for your messages. Our inspirational quote comes from Harvey Firestone, an American businessman, and it says, never be bullied into silence. Never allow yourself to be made a victim. Accept no one's definition of your life, but define yourself. Unquote. Thank you to the production team, Ephraim, Esther, Emmanuel, Ayeki, Director Lord and Ponsa, technical team and camera. Thank you so much also for sending in your comments. This is Women's Voice. My name is Selikem Akolachi Apalu. We'll be back to do it again tomorrow.
It's about exposing the vulnerabilities women face.
You have to go to an occasion and people will be like, okay, look at this scary lady coming up, and it was so devastating for me at that time. And I just feel like, okay, if this is how the situation is going to be, then I have to accept myself. I have to embrace what I am.
It's about being ready to speak out for our own rights.
If you see a nice girl, then the assumption is that she enticed the man. What was she wearing? My dear, it does not matter what a young girl is wearing. It is not enough grounds for you to rape the girl.
We are always striving to reach the top, no matter what.
Every woman must know that she has a deep-seated strength. That strength that can put her over every hurdle. And that strength should actually encourage you to do more than you think you can do.
We are frank about who we are.
We all have something, no matter where you find yourself. Let somebody remember you for something good, because you need to put yourself on the line, because some people have done it so that you can go to school, so you can have a voice, just to make sure that women's voices could be heard.
And in today's world, we do have a say.
Actually, they are dead drunk. We do have a voice. With that voice, we can change the world. With that voice, we can take command of our broken communities.
Women's Voice, weekdays on GBC24 at 4 p.m. and on Mondays on GTV at 4 p.m. Women's Voice, articulating the issues affecting women and sharing their unique stories with the rest of the world.